Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, and thank you for your comments. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Well, there is no question that there are a lot of beautiful, intelligent Black women in the United States of America. Black women that are kind, that are generous, that are hardworking, and that have concern for the Black American community. But there are also among that group of women, women who act like they don't have any sense. Now, and I'm speaking about Chris Brown at this point. Every 2 or 3 years, somebody comes up with some kind of report about Chris Brown, the singer Chris Brown, the very good singer, very good performer. Chris Brown is a colorist, and that wherever he's clubbing, he doesn't want any dark-skinned women in his section. Now, this comes out ever so often. So now this is the most recent one.
Chris Brown is in hiding. Completely deactivated his social media after this woman accused him of being colorist. Chris Brown has been notorious for having a preference for light-skinned women, but this woman says it's not a preference, it's discrimination. In a viral video, this woman named Lachey described being invited to the Chris Brown VIP experience. So she and her friends drove all the way from Cleveland to Detroit to be there. But once they arrived and they met up with Chris Brown's management team, Lachey says that the VIP manager took one look at her and told her that they had run out of VIP wristbands. Dumbfounded, she says she stood back and watched as the same manager gave out those wristbands to women who were either light-skinned, mixed race, or white women.
Chris Brown has a preference, but you have not one time seen a dark-skinned girl up on that stage. And his entourage, his management, they're only doing what he is instructing for them to do, which is why you have not seen a woman of my complexion on the stage.
After her video went viral, I'm sure it made its way to Chris Brown, and he responded by posting, "Miss me with the colorist rage baiting," and then he promptly deactivated his Instagram. Although Lachey seemed shocked that Chris Brown wouldn't allow her into his inner circle, other Black women are simply bored with this topic.
How many times are we gonna have to tell you hoes that man do not like y'all? He don't like y'all. He don't prefer y'all. He don't want y'all there. He don't want y'all around.
For years, a multitude of dark-skinned Black women have shared stories about how Chris Brown treated them as though they had no value. And like this woman said, if you expect different because you think you're super cute, you're rejecting reality. Some men are defending Chris Brown, saying, hey, every man has his preference, but is this really a preference? Or like Lachey says, is Chris Brown colorist? What do you think of this story? Leave a comment to let me know. I'm Tierka with the T. Follow for more.
Now, this is a recurring theme with Chris Brown. He does not like dark-skinned women. Now, that's what they say. I don't know if it's true or not, but I do know that ever so often, this report comes out from a dark-skinned woman who was chasing him down at some club, and they wouldn't let her in, but they were always with some light-skinned person, and they let the light-skinned person in. It's the same story. I went there with my light-skinned friend, 2 dark-skins and 1 light-skinned, and they wouldn't let the dark-skins in, but let the light-skin in. It happens. It's almost as if, everybody's going by the same playbook. But if this is true, then these women are truly foolish, because this has come out enough times about him that you should know that if you are dark-skinned, then you are not going to get in his section at the club. Now, I find that very interesting because all over social media a few days ago, Kayla Nicole was at a concert and they were simulating sex in the, in that little segment that they do. And she is dark-skinned. She is not a light-skinned woman. So it's hard to know what's what. But to be on the safe side, if you know you're not light-skinned, you need to stay away from Chris Brown. And it's really kind of it's redundant, and you're not being taken seriously at a point because this keeps coming out. And he deactivated his account because who knows why. But as far as I was concerned, after Chris Brown did what he did to Rihanna, who is a light-skinned woman, I can't imagine that women are running behind him anyway. Why are you running behind a batterer in the first place? And he got away with that. Black women did not, in any large numbers, did not punish Chris Brown for what he did to Rihanna. And if you don't know what he did, Google it. Google it. But it has to do with domestic abuse. And it was just shameful what he did to her. And black women are still running behind him, trying to be chosen when you're not going to be chosen if you're dark skinned. You're not going to be chosen if you're black. He's a lot like Nick Cannon. They want to have their children with non-black women, and I'll let him have his way. I mean, and Chris Brown is a very good entertainer. But if you are a black woman, knowing what you know about him, there shouldn't be any song that he sings that's so great that you would go to see him, that you would pay to go and see him. There should not be any club that you want to get into so badly that you would put your that you would put your dignity on the line trying to get in a club, to get in a section that he's in. It's always the case that somebody he's connected to gave them some tickets, and when they got to the door, they wouldn't let them in. Well, the next time somebody gets some tickets from Chris Brown to go into a section or a club or whatever he's in, just tear the tickets up and go somewhere else. Stop running behind Chris Brown. You look silly. And I think that you do it black and you do dark-skinned women a disservice by continuing to throw this kind of bullshit in the faces of black women. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. Because you don't have any respect for yourself and you keep running behind somebody that doesn't want to be bothered with you. It's not discrimination, I don't think. And what you gonna do, file a lawsuit against him because he doesn't want you in his section, or he doesn't want you in his presence? I don't think that lawsuit would go anywhere. So, just stop being silly. Leave the man alone. Leave him to his preference. And by the way, looking at the people that were in Atlanta, I think he was in Atlanta recently, and most of the people that you saw coming out of that club were black women. So you're glutton for punishment if you keep running behind him, and it's not his fault. It's your own fault. Now, that's just how I see it. But y'all let me know what you think about this. Thank you for listening. Have a good evening.